So hello, welcome back to RS Links. Today I'm at Farnborough at the British Motor Show and we're going to look at something slightly different. We have got the first electric AC Cobra here and I've got John Peeke-Vout here from AC Cars who's going to tell us a bit more about it. So this car, I've had a look over this car earlier and it's absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
What makes it different from the original cars apart from the electric motor? Can you tell us?
Yeah, sure. So this is an original AC Cobra. It's it's not a conversion. It's a brand new build.
And it's not a replica. This is a genuine AC.
It's not a replica. This is genuine AC. So we are the company that was formed 120 years ago.
Yeah.
We're actually the longest continuing British car manufacturer. So something to be very proud of. So this car comes with a lot of heritage, a lot of history.
Yeah.
Obviously, the whole EV market is taking off, and we wanted to be part of that. We wanted to offer something that had a lot of character, a lot of original styling, and something that was a very pretty and iconic car to look at, but with a modern EV powertrain.
Sure. When you look at it, it looks just like a standard Cobra from the 60s, doesn't it?
It does, and we were very conscious about doing that. We didn't want to alter the styling. It is true to the 1960s design. You know, every little detailing, you know, down to the wheels and the little lift dots for the roof and what have you. It's all very, very authentic and would have been how it would have been in sort of the 60s.
Yeah.
So a very conscious decision to keep the aesthetics of the car as it was, but to have that modern EV powertrain under the bonnet.
Okay. So speaking of the powertrain, what kind of stats, like what size battery does it have?
So it's got a 54 kilowatt hour battery.
Okay.
That's made up of 8 individual battery modules. We've got 6 located at the front under the bonnet and a couple located where the fuel tank would normally be.
Okay.
That gives a range of about 150 miles with sort of normal everyday driving.
Okay. What kind of power does the motor give you?
Okay, so it's what we call a sandwich motor. It's an MRAX motor. It's 230 kilowatts, which is about sort of 310 brake horsepower. Okay. It's got 500 newton meters of peak torque, with between 250 and 300 newton meters of continuous torque. So pretty powerful little unit. It's a very small motor. It's 14 inches in diameter and it's only about 4 inches deep. So it's a very compact but powerful unit.
So how much does the car weigh? Does the batteries add quite a lot of weight to it?
No, they don't. They've actually reduced the weight over what would have been in the car in the 60s. It would have had a big cast iron V8. We've actually come in under our target weight, which was 1,200. We're actually at 1,100 kilos. Okay. So that's probably about a couple of hundred kilos less than the original car would have weighed.
Okay. So with all those weight savings and all that power, what's the 0 to 60 time?
0 to 60 is around 4 seconds.
4 seconds?
It's pretty lively.
Wow. So is there any kind of traction control in there? Or?
No traction control. We can dial in, and we are in the middle of dialing in throttle position feel. Okay. So that can limit the amount of power that goes to the wheels from initial set-off. As you know, from an electric motor, the torque is instant, and it can be a little scary, if you're a little leery. So we need just to work on how we get that dialed in terms of just more of a gradual increase rather than full beans from initial take-up.
Okay, that sounds good. So with you adding the batteries, did you have to encroach in the boot space or storage space or anything like that?
No, not at all. We still have the maximum luggage capacity that the petrol engine car would have had.
Okay.
As I say, the battery modules that are in the rear of the car are where the fuel tanks would be. So obviously, you know, we don't need the fuel tanks. Okay. So that space worked out really well for those additional battery modules.
Okay. And what kind of charging does the car have?
So right now we're offering just an overnight trickle charge. We're looking at fast charging. It's connected through a Type 2 standard charger.
So that will charge at 6 kilowatts, will it?
Yeah, 6 kilowatts. And typically from flat, we're charging about 6 to 8 hours.
Okay. And I suppose that kind of makes sense rather than having rapid charging, because it isn't a car you're going to do a long journey in. It's a car to be seen in short journeys. So that kind of makes sense.
It's more of a lifestyle car. It's a toy. It's a possession. It's something to have. But the car is unlikely to be driven during the week. It's a car that you probably have in your garage on trickle charge during the week, and it's there ready for you to take out on a nice Sunday afternoon, or a drive to the pub on a Saturday, or meet with a car club, that kind of thing. So that's the kind of market and lifestyle that we're really aiming this vehicle at. It's not to say that you couldn't do a good journey. 150 miles range is pretty good. We could also see perhaps this car being a useful car to use in London. With sort of.
You don't have the distances, do you? So,
no, you don't. It's all very short distance. It's a very striking car. If you want to be seen in London, then it's a car to have. And charging points are quite abundant in the city as well.
Okay. So how many of these cars will you be making? Is it a limited run?
Yeah, it's a limited run of 58 units. This is the first pre-production model. We're now building and starting to satisfy orders for the first sold car. So limited run of 58 vehicles.
Okay. And do you have any other colour? This blue is fantastic, by the way. But
yes, thank you. So we're calling this electric blue, which is kind of apt, I guess. We do three other colours, so 4 in total. And we wanted to sort of recreate some of the classic colours that would have been with the car in the day, so things like Wimbledon whites and classic blacks and that kind of thing.
So is there like a racing green sort of colour?
Yeah, there's a racing green, a sort of a British racing green type of green.
Oh, brilliant.
That the car's available in as well.
That's great. So the burning question is, what can people do to get this now? Can you do a deposit now, or are you open for that kind of thing?
We have an online presence. We have a really good website. So we're taking a £2,500 deposit, which secures the car for you for a period of time, and then there's stage payments throughout the build of the vehicle. So yes, we're taking orders right now. As I said just a moment ago, we're building the early production cars at the moment to satisfy those. But yes, we're happy to take orders straight away.
Okay, great. And what is the lead time on this? So if someone placed an order today, when could they expect their car?
Realistically, about 6 months.
6 months? Oh, that's pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, we've deliberately tried to make everything productionizable. So instead of just doing a one-off and having to re-engineer every car, we've consciously decided that, for example, the charge cap, we can make those quite easily through the CNC process, as opposed to having just to make a one-off hand machine part. So we've got most of the parts now ready to put into production. So it's a relatively short lead time,
That's great. So the only thing I need to ask now is, when can I have a test drive of this? It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, very soon. We've got a fairly hectic schedule over the next 6 to 8 weeks in terms of press events. But within sort of the next 6 to 8 weeks, we'd love to have you in the car and get your views.
That'd be great. So remember this. Hopefully we can get this car on the channel and we can give you my impressions of it. But it's just a fantastic looking car. I just love the retroness of it. So I assume there's a dial in there that shows you your battery gauge or something. You just can't.
Yeah, that's it. So
no electric screen.
There's no LCD screen.
No LCD,
again, the same with the exterior of the car. We wanted to make the interior as true a representation as the original would have been. So we'll use the branded AC Smith's gauges with the white on the black, and that will be then true for the state of charge gauge and the range and that kind of thing. It's all about keeping the feel of the car as it would have been in the 60s, but with that modern take.
Yeah, well, it's a stunning car. It really is. It really is fantastic. And
thank you very much.
If you didn't know it was electric, you wouldn't tell. When it's static, it's just fantastic.
And we wanted it to be that way. It's a very iconic shape. It's a very beautiful. It's a pretty car, and we didn't want to mess with that. It's just perfection, I think, in terms of how the car looks. But we need to move with the times, and the times are going to be EV, and this is how we've decided to go with it.
So thank you very much for telling us about your car.
You're welcome.
It's absolutely fantastic. So thank you for watching. If you like this car, then please give it a thumbs up, and we'll see if we can get it on the channel later on in the year. Thank you.